Potana Bhagavatham, first chapter, third verse. My unwavering dedication to Him who has the knowledge of creation, He who brings joy to Bharati and organizes the Vedas piled like a mountain, He who leads the gods and removes all blemishes, saving from destruction, He who blesses those who dedicate their life to penance with compassion. So this is the third verse from the first chapter of Potana Bhagavatam. In this, Potanaji says, my unwavering dedication to Him who has the knowledge of creation. So in Sanatana Dharma, we pray to God as per the tasks they do. For example, in this poem, Potanaji is talking about Brahma who takes care of creation. That aspect of Paramatma who takes care of creation is called Brahma. And that aspect of Paramatma which takes care of protection is Vishnu. And that aspect of Paramatma which takes care of destruction or regeneration, destroying everything to regenerate, that is called Shiva. Okay. So in the first verse, Potanaji praises Krishna, who is a form of Vishnu. And then the second verse of Potana Bhagavatam is about Shivji. And now this third verse is about Brahma, who is called the creator. It says, the first line says, my unwavering dedication to Him who has the knowledge of creation. Okay. So the same source, the same divine power, depending on the task, we call either as Brahma, Vishnu or Shiva, and we invoke whatever we need. For example, for someone who needs protection in this world, we invoke the form of Vishnu. We are well aware that there is only one form, but since the form of Vishnu has incarnated again and again to save the world, we invoke Vishnu when we feel we need protection to live in this world. All of us are living in this world. All of us need to go through this world and need some help with our joys and sorrows and need some divine intervention at times. So, generally, Vishnu is the form which many of us pray to, isn't it? And the force which creates destruction at the end of the world, they say, when the world has to come to an end, the source which creates that destruction, not only that actually, not only the external destruction, the destruction of evil within, isn't it? The source which can kill desire, the source which can kill the fear of death. Who is that? That is none other than Shiva. So if we are looking for those kind of aspects, we invoke Shiva. In the same way, Brahma is the form of the divine which does the creation. So this third verse is dedicated to him. Okay. Now, how can we say that in Sanatan Dharma we are aware that all these forms are within us? Because when we do any prayer, when we do any ritual, at the end we know that the priest, the Panditji, tells us to stand up and circumambulate, fold hands, and 3 times we circumambulate and we do a pranam to the divine within. When the Panditji says the mantra, Yani kani cha papani janmantara kritani cha tani sarvani nasyanti pradakshana pade pade. We do a pradakshan, Atma pradakshan, because the Paramatma is within our Atma, isn't it? So that's why we do a parikrama to ourselves. And we ask to destroy 3 kinds of sins. Okay, what are the 3 kinds? One is Adi Bhautik. Adi Bhautik is 3 kinds of difficulties actually. So the first one is Adi Bhautik, which other people or animals or birds or insects in the things in this world, they cause those kind of difficulties, is called Adi Bhautik. Adi Daivik is something caused by the divine, could be earthquake or anything, something which is not in the hands of human beings, that is Adi Daivik, which comes to us depending on our karma. We go through these things. Then Adhyatmik. Adhyatmik is something we put to ourselves, our own body and mind. We put ourselves in trouble sometimes. That is called Adhyatmik. There are 3 kinds: Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik and Adhyatmik. So to get over these three kinds of troubles, we do the parikrama or Atma Pradakshin 3 times, isn't it? Okay. So that's how, because the priest is asking us to do the pradakshin around ourselves 3 times, he's asking us to do Atma Pradakshin. This proves that in Sanatana Dharma, we are aware that God is within us, but we put a form outside depending on what strength we want to invoke. If we want to invoke, we put the form of divine as Lakshmi. If we want to invoke knowledge, we put it as Saraswati, isn't it? So, where else in the scriptures it shows us that God is within us? So, Yajurveda Taitriya Aranyakam Narayana Suktam. In that also it says, Adho nishtyanti vashyante nabhyam uparitishtati jwalamala kulambati visvasyayatanam mahat. Nabhyam uparitishtati. Nabi is the belly button. So from there, one palm length, if you put your little finger in the belly button and you measure, where does your thumb go to? Somewhere near the heart, isn't it? So that is where there is a flame. Okay, and then it says, Tasya sikhaya madhye paramatma vyavastitah sa brahma sa sivah sa harisendra sokshara paramaswarat. That means in that flame, Paramatma. Okay, we are Atma and there is something called Paramatma, isn't it? So that Paramatma resides in that flame, in the middle of that flame. Okay, so and that Paramatma is called Brahma, Shiva, Hari, and Indra. Okay, so the verse clearly says that Paramatma who is within you is none other than who we call Brahma, who we call Shiva, who we call Hari. Okay, so we are well aware that God is within us, and even Potanaji is aware of that. That's why he is praying to the forms of the God who have done something, who have saved people, who have saved their disciples, who have saved the devotees who cried for them. So, first he is praying to Hari, then he is praying to Shivji, and now in this verse he is praying to Brahma. So the first line was, my unwavering dedication to him who has the knowledge of creation. He who brings joy to Bharati and organizes the Vedas piled like a mountain. So we see that Brahmaji is with Saraswati Devi or Bharati. So she is depicted as someone who gives knowledge, who gives the creativity, arts, music, everything is attributed to her. And he is the one who holds the Vedas. So they are the source of knowledge, Brahma and Saraswati. So that's why in this verse, Potanaji says, he who brings joy to Bharati and organizes the Vedas piled like a mountain. He who leads the gods and removes all blemishes, saving from destruction. So we have heard in our scriptures many times that whenever gods face a problem, they go to Brahma and he advises them whether they need to invoke the form of Vishnu or they need to invoke the form of Shiva. Depending on the trouble they have come across, they always seek advice from Brahma because he is shown as the elder of everyone. Okay, because he is depicted as the creator. Now, he who blesses those who dedicate their life to penance with compassion. That's the fourth line. So if you see even Rakshas like Ravan and Hiranyakashyap, they have done penance, they have done tapasya for Brahma, and Brahma has given them all the boons. But then the form of Vishnu, who takes care of dharma in the world, he comes and destroys them depending on the karma, depending on what they do after they get their boon, isn't it? So Brahma is the one, without judging the person, when someone does a penance, he grants them boons. So the last line says, he blesses those who dedicate their life to penance with compassion. So now we know the meaning. We will listen to the verse again. My unwavering dedication to him who has the knowledge of creation, he who brings joy to Bharati and organizes the Vedas piled like a mountain, he who leads the gods and removes all blemishes, saving them from destruction, he who blesses those who dedicate their life to penance with compassion.